Hello everybody and welcome to the Extreme. Today we're going to be checking out my game pickups. This is a two-part series. This is the first part of December-January pickup, and this particular video is focusing on my December pickups, including all my Black Friday sale pickups. So let's check it out. Hello everybody, welcome back. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below, and let's get into these pickups. So this month is a very Switch heavy month because of Black Friday, so I did buy mostly modern games this month. That being said, I do have a nice chunk of NES games thrown in here just for you to see, so let's go. So starting off, I'm starting with the Star Wars combo pack of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and Star Wars Republic Commando. So this double pack is a sucky thing when it came out for anybody who bought these two limited run games, because limited runs sold both these games individually, and then later on THQ Nordic comes out with this double pack for 30 bucks. I wanted to pick this up when it first came out, but I didn't want to spend the money through limited run to buy them separately, and then luckily they got re-released in this double pack. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is a cool racing game based on the pod racing from the Episode 1. It was the Star Wars movies. It's super fun racing game, one of the better racing games on the N64, getting ported to the Switch. Star Wars Republic Commando is a first-person game. I believe it's based on Episode 2, The Clone Wars, but it looks really fun. I never played it before. I think it was originally a GameCube game, and then now it's ported here, so pretty good pack for 30 bucks anyways. Next up, I got this one from an Amazon third-party seller for $10, and that is Blackside. Blackside is essentially a point-and-click adventure game where you play as a humanoid animal cat detective man trying to solve a crime. I heard this particular version, the Switch version of this game, does not run great, but by now I would imagine they would have fixed it with patches and stuff, so see how it is. I'm not sure if this game is good or not, but for 10 bucks it's worth taking the jump on it, because I love these point-and-click adventure games.
As many private investigators will tell you, the job consists mainly of dealing with two-timing husbands and wives. But once in a while, you're lucky enough to land the kind of case that can get you killed.
Next up, I have a couple limited run games that came in. The first one is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. So this is a pretty good collection. It contains all three of the NES Castlevanias, Castlevania 4 for the Super Nintendo, and Castlevania Bloodlines for the Genesis, which is probably my favorite Castlevania. And it has the Game Boy Castlevanias, and it also has the first English release of Kid Dracula, which is pretty cool. I believe that was only ever released in Japan on the Game Boy, so it's kind of cool to see it ported to the set. Next up, the second limited run game I got in is Blaster Master 03, and it came with this, I ordered it with the slip cover, which is to hold all three of the Blaster Master 0 games that was released through limited run. Now, I didn't know this was going to happen because I had purchased the other first two through limited run, but when this one was coming out, they released a triple pack with all three of them together in Japan, which I could have ordered, but at that point I had already ordered I already had the first two from the original releases, so I figured I might as well just get the third one and get it with the slip cover, which holds all three games, which is kind of nice. Blaster Master 0, if you don't know, it is a new version, but this is still done in like an 8-bit style of Blaster Master, which is a classic NES game. I believe they also made 16-bit versions of Blaster Master. I think they're just called Blaster Master 2. I know for sure it's on the Genesis. I'm not sure if it's on the Super Nintendo or not. But yeah, these are awesome games. The music's cool. It's like you're playing an NES game in 16:9 when you pop this in. Super hard games though. I tried playing through the first one. I couldn't make it through. It just got to the point where it got too hard. But pretty cool games.
Inti Creates and Sunsoft present The Blaster Master 0 series returns with its final chapter.
Okay, next up, we're moving into all my Black Friday pickups. I got quite a few games this year because there was a lot of good deals. You had to search around a bit to get them. There was only one deal I missed out on, and that was they had the Tony Hawk collection at one particular store for 30 bucks. Did not pick that up because I didn't have an opportunity to go there to get it. but I got a lot of decent deals. So starting off with those, I got Cruisin' Blast. Cruisin' Blast, if you don't know, is a sequel to the Cruisin' USA series that was on the N64 and arcades. This one is supposed to be awesome. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. The graphics don't look amazing, but the gameplay I hear is really fun on this, so I can't wait to jump in and try it out. Next up, I picked up The Outer Worlds. Now, The Outer Worlds, it's a Fallout-style first-person RPG. This was developed by the team that developed Fallout New Vegas, which was a spin-off of the Fallout series. This game is supposed to be a lot of fun on the Xbox and PlayStation. I heard the Switch version does have some issues, but that's probably why this was so cheap. It was only like $10 when I picked it up. So I felt it was worth checking out to see if it's actually as bad. I hear it plays okay, but they really dumbed down the graphics for the Switch version. So so the gameplay should still be fun in it, because I heard it's a really fun game. So definitely worth checking out. This company, Obsidian, that developed this, they actually just got bought by Microsoft not that long ago. So this is probably going to be their only release on the Switch. So it was okay to pick up.
Heads up, jackass!
Next up, I got Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. So this is a third-person platformer. Crash Bandicoot is normally known as being Sony's mascot. That's because of when the PlayStation 1 came out, it was the main exclusive. On the PlayStation 1, it was actually developed by Naughty Dog, the developer of Uncharted. But this one's now, Crash Bandicoot is now made by Toys for Bob, which is funny because, like the previous game, Microsoft just bought Activision, which is who owns Crash Bandicoot. So this is also another game which is now owned by Microsoft. So this probably will be the last one you see on the Switch as well. That being said, this one looks like it's a lot of fun. The first 3 Crash Bandicoot games I never really felt were that good, but this one looks like it's pretty good and I can't wait to try it out.
At last, I can undo my greatest failure!
He means you, Crash.
The next game I picked up on the Switch is Crysis Remastered, and this was a good release for me because there isn't a ton of first-person shooters on the Switch. So I was excited to pick this one up when it got released, and the bonus is this is a 360 PS3 game. I've never played it on that generation, so this is technically a new game for me, so I was excited to pick this one up. Crysis kind of plays a little bit like Far Cry. It's like serious Far Cry. So Far Cry that takes itself serious. The gameplay is very stealthy. They kind of make you kind of play a little bit like the Predator, where you have like your cloaking and stuff. I don't know, it looked okay, it looked fun. I played it for a bit. I had a little bit of a good time with it. So I can't wait to continue playing this and enjoying it. Next up is an indie game which I've been looking forward to for a long time, and that is The Rustler. Now, The Rustler, if you don't know what this is a top-down Grand Theft Auto 2 style game. This game is supposed to be hilarious. It's like Grand Theft Auto 2 in medieval times. So super excited to try this one out. I hear it's hilarious. I really want to get into this. It looks like a lot of fun. Next up, and the last Switch game I got for Black Friday sale, is Sonic Colors. Now, Sonic Colors is a remaster of the Wii exclusive game, which is supposed to be essentially Sonic's best 3D outing since Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. This game is pretty fun. I believe they added a bit of content to this version from the original, and I know they remastered a bunch of the music and stuff and redid a bunch of the songs. The Switch port isn't supposed to be great because it was done by the company that did WWE 2K18, which is a legendary game for being one of the worst ports on the Switch. I don't know why that company still exists and why they were allowed to work on this, but apparently this port is a little bit rough. I imagine they fixed it by now, but who knows? When we jump in, we'll see.
Harness their power, and then nothing will stop me!
Who you calling nothing?
Sonic!
Next up is my last Black Friday pickup in this pickups video, and that is Mafia, the Definitive Edition. Now, Mafia Definitive Edition, what it is, they took the original game of Mafia, which is probably one of my favorite Grand Theft Auto style games, 3D games, and they essentially remade the game with new updated graphics. If you haven't played Mafia, the story in this game is absolutely phenomenal. So good. This game is unbelievable how good it is, the original version. I haven't played this version yet, but I hear like with the updated graphics and the updated gameplay, it is really, really fun. I believe they tweaked a bunch of stuff from the original as well that was kind of like redundant, because I know they used to make it so like the cops would actually pull you over for traffic violations, like if you drive through a red light and stuff. I'm not sure if they brought that into this one as well. But either way, if you haven't played Mafia, this is a fantastic game, really worth playing if you haven't.
What do they call you, son?
Thomas. Thomas Angelo, sir.
Next up on the Xbox One is the last game developed by the original GoldenEye team, and there's actually, so the GoldenEye team, which also developed the Time Splitters games, which there's actually a playable version of Time Splitters 2 in this game, and that is Homefront The Revolution. This is a cool first-person shooter. It's kind of free-roaming, little, I believe. I played it a bit on the computer. Haven't played the Xbox version yet. The graphics are good. The gameplay is a lot of fun. This game is definitely worth checking out. It's a really good storyline. Half-Life 2-esque storyline on this one. Really, really cool game. Definitely worth checking out.
This ain't a time for words anymore. Or prayers, or hope. This is a time for action.
Speaking of Half-Life 2, I picked up Half-Life 2 on the PC. Now, obviously, I own this digitally on Steam, but I found this in a thrift store, the physical copy of Half-Life 2. Probably one of the greatest PC games ever made, so it's definitely worth picking up this physical copy of this. If you haven't played Half-Life 2, it is a first-person adventure game. You start off in a Orwellian future where the portal, it's kind of neat because when you open the portal in the first Half-Life, you let in all the monsters and everything from the other dimension or whatever. In this one, the monsters are just kind of like living with you normally. The world's kind of merged, which is kind of neat. It's a really cool environment, one of the greatest PC games ever made. If you haven't played Half-Life 2, go play it, because you can get it on Steam pretty cheap, and yeah, definitely worth playing this. Next up, I got a couple of original Xbox games I picked up at a thrift store. So the first one is Call of Duty 2, the big red one. Now this is not Call of Duty 2. There's a different Call of Duty 2. This is Call of Duty 2, the big red one. It's kind of a spin-off series. It focuses on, I believe, one troop in World War II called the Big Red One. I've never played this one. I have no idea if it's good or not. Again, another Activision game. So bought by Microsoft not too long ago. So I don't know. Check it out if you're interested, if you love Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty for the single-player campaigns. I've always liked the single-player campaigns in Call of Duty games. I don't really play much online, so for me, this is a good pickup. Next up, I picked up this game at the thrift store, same time as I got that Call of Duty game. It looked interesting to me, and that is Aquaman on the original Xbox. Now, I have no idea if this is any good. It's a third-person adventure game. I don't know anything about it. I've never been a fan of DC comic book characters. I've always been a fan of more Marvel. I thought the characters a lot more interesting. I don't know. It's Aquaman. Could be neat. Could be garbage. I have no idea. Next up, we're going to be getting into some NES games. Starting off, I got Transformers on the Famicom. This is a side-scroller shooter game. Hard as nails, this game. Never heard of it before. My brother sent me the link on eBay saying, hey, this is an exclusive Famicom game. Never got released on NES of Transformers. So I picked it up, popped it in. Game is super, super difficult. Plays Optimus Prime. It's like a side-scroller shooter. Next up, on the NES, I picked up Wizards and Warriors. So this is the first game of the Wizards and Warriors series. The second one is a lot more popular because the cover art's got Fabio in the cover art of the second one. This is the first one, side-scroller fantasy medieval game. Pretty fun games. Check these ones out. These are NES staple almost. Very common games, but also very fun. Next up on the NES, I got Immortal, which is a third-person isometric top-down game. I generally do not like isometric games, but the graphics on this one are pretty nice, and it looks like a fun game. I've never really played it before. This is actually made by Electronic Arts, so it's an earlier EA game. I don't know of a lot of EA games being released on the NES, so we're checking this one out. I've always been intrigued by it, but I've never had a chance to play it. Next up on the pickups for this month is a weird game I've never heard of. I saw it at the store, it looked interesting, so I picked it up. It's called Amagon. This is a side-scroller game where you're this dude with like a machine gun going through the jungle, and then you get like a power-up which makes you get really huge, like a giant. Very, very strange game, made by Sammy. They made a few games on the NES. Yeah, weird game. I just picked it up because it looked interesting. I like stumbling upon these strange games that aren't very popular and checking them out to see what they're like. And next up, and the last game for this pickups video, this is a game I've been wanting to get for a long time. It's one of my favorite NES games, and that is Bubble Bobble. Yes, I finally got Bubble Bobble. I got it for a good price finally. I got it for about $20. This usually sells for about $40, so I was lucky to get it for that price. Made by Taito, one of the best games on the NES. Absolutely love this game. So essentially what this game is you go through the levels, and it's all level based, but it's like a single screen level, and you go around shooting the enemies with your bubbles, and then once you capture them in the bubbles, you kind of hit the bubble and you eliminate the enemy, and then once you kill all the enemies in the level, then you're done the level, you move on to the next one. So the gameplay is a lot of fun, very addictive gameplay, but it gets really tough after a while. Well, everybody, this is part one of my two-part series of December, January game pickups. I hope you enjoyed these pickups. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you dislike what you saw, hit dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below. What did you pick up for Black Friday? You let me know. We'll see you later.